In this video, I'll be teaching you about the 11 types of the Pokemon TCG, and what's special about each type in the Pokemon TCG. For this video, you will not need your Pokemon collection. Just watch and learn. Well, let's begin. In a Pokemon TCG game, you'll need to use your attacks or abilities to knock out your opponent's opposing Pokemon. But to power those attacks, you'll need energy cards. The Pokemon TCG has 11 different types of Pokemon, but you'll not find all 11 types of energy in the game. If you only are calling energy, there are only 8 energy types in the Pokemon TCG. There are grass, fire, water, electric, psychic, fighting, dark, steel, and fairy. Each energy type in the Pokemon TCG should be used to power different types of attacks. You can find the ones that match your personality. I'll be explaining each energy type. First up is grass types. Grass-type Pokemon often have attacks that will be able to heal themselves, or they can also be able to make their opponents poisoned. For example, this Parasect has the attack Mushroom Drain. While doing damage, it will also heal 30 damage from this Pokemon. And as for this Ariados, its Poisonous Nest ability will make your both active Pokemon poisoned. But if you're using a grass-type deck, they will not be poisoned, and only your opponent will be poisoned, as long as it also isn't a grass type. Next up is fire types. Fire type Pokemon will have huge attacks, very punishing attacks, but they'll usually come with a cost. And they have the ability to make your opponents burned. As for this Reshiram and Charizard, as you see, its Flare Strike attack does a whopping 230 damage. But this Pokemon cannot use Flare Strike during your next turn, which means you will not be able to use Flare Strike in two consecutive turns. After that is water types. Water types have the power to manipulate energy and move Pokemon around on your team and your opponent's team. As for this Bruxish, with its Vivid Charge ability, it will allow you to search your deck for up to 3 basic energy cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand. This is really helpful when you don't have much energy in your hand. You'll need energy to attach to your Pokemon. And as for this Politoed, both of its attacks have a way to move Pokemon around. As for its Roll Call, search your deck for a Poliwag, a Poliwhirl, and a Poliwrath, and put them onto your bench. Then shuffle your deck. This means you can also put your Stage 2 Poliwrath onto your bench. Pretty neat. And its Hyper Jump attack. You may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. With this, you'll also be able to move Politoed itself. The type after that will be Electric. Electric type Pokemon can be able to bring back used electricity in the discard part. Electric energy in the discard pile, and they have the ability to make their opponents paralyzed. As for this Vikavolt GX, its Charge Beam attack will allow you to attach an energy card from your discard pile to this Vikavolt GX. This means you'll be able to retrieve 1 electric energy from your discard pile and put it onto Vikavolt. And as for this Emolga, With its Nuzzle attack, you'll be able to paralyze your opponent. Though no attacks will be able to 100% paralyze your opponent, unless it comes with a cost. So this Nuzzle is just to flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. The reason that Paralyze is like this is because Paralyze is basically asleep, but you'll not need to flip a coin between turns. Next up is Psychic types. Psychic types can hit with a bunch of exotic attacks or special powers. They are able to make their opponents confused, asleep, or poisoned. As for this Tentacruel, with its void tentacles, it is able to confuse and poison your opponent's active Pokemon. And talk about exotic attacks. Paranormal. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from Ultra Beasts. That is exceptionally rare, but also very effective it is if it works. Next up after that is Fighting types. Fighting type Pokemon can take bigger risks to do extra damage, and some can flip coins for a combination of hits. As for this Marowak, with its Bone Ring attack, it's all about flipping coins. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 60 damage times the number of heads, which means it could do a decent 120 damage, or it could do a 0 damage. So that's what you call a combination of hits. Next up after that is Darkness type Pokemon. Darkness type Pokemon are able to discard cards from your opponent's Pokemon, or from your opponent's deck, or hand for that matter. They can also make your opponents poisoned. As for this Guzzlord, with its Mountain Munch attack, it is able to discard the top card of your opponent's deck. After that is Steel type Pokemon, or some people like to call it Metal. Steel type Pokemon are able to resist attacks for much longer than most other Pokemon. Like how you call something steel hard. For example, this Cobalion GX, with its metal symbol, each of your Pokemon that has any steel energy attached to it cannot be affected by any special conditions. Remove any special conditions affecting those Pokemon. This will allow you to allow all your Steel-type Pokemon to resist against all sorts of special conditions, which will be exceptionally useful when your opponent is trying to make you either asleep or paralyzed. After that is Fairy types. Fairy type Pokemon have many tricks that will make opposing Pokemon's attacks less effective. For example, this Wigglytuff, with his Hocus Pocus attack, the defending Pokemon straight off cannot attack during your opponent's next turn. So that's what you would call ineffective. That's the end of the eight different types. But you might say, didn't I say 11 before? No, not 9 different types. But didn't I say 11 before? There are 2 more other types, but those only are Pokemon, not energy types. So there are also such thing as Dragon types. Dragon type Pokemon have very strong attacks, but often require 2 different energy types to use them. This Naganadel and Guzzlord will need Psychic and Darkness energies to be able to use Jet Pierce or have the full effect of Chaotic Order. And having Chaotic Order being able to take 2 prize cards seamlessly is a very strong attack. And Jet Pierce deals a whopping 180 damage without any backfiring. And with his Violent Appetite, it was able to heal 60 damage every turn if you discard some useless Pokemon in your hand. And the one last type is colorless types. Colorless types are usually have kind of weak attacks, but they're able to work with any kind of deck. And being able to work with any kind of deck, you can use the energy card called double colorless energy, which will cause you to be able to use 2 energy as 1 energy. Having 2 energy as 1 energy will let you be able to add two energy each turn, which will be surprisingly effective. You also might recall that the original Pokemon games and anime, they are supposed to have 18 different types, not 11 or 9. These are the types in the anime and the games. There are 18 of them. You know how this is possible? Some other types are fused into other types in the Pokemon TCG to have less types, and having less types will mean more possible weaknesses. For example, ice types. There's no such thing as ice type in the Pokemon TCG. They are fused in with the water types. Well, that's the end of this video. Hope you like it. Hope you learned a lot. Enjoy.